to actually join our members and our team of environmental champions in Universiti Malaya, carrying out sustainability and also eco-campus initiatives. Yeah. So we used to have our clinic face-to-face, but now because of COVID and all that, I think it's safer and it's more convenient to do online. So here we go. I'm going to actually introduce to you the concept of Living Lab, and this clinic is actually to engage the potential researchers. Even some of the senior researchers are here, I think, but nevertheless, it's a good place to actually get everyone on board so that we understand and fully comprehend and support the Universiti Malaya Eco Campus initiative and also aspiration. Okay, so I welcome any comments, and even if you want to interject in between, you have questions, no problem, you can do so. This is informal. We want to interact and to engage with our researchers. So I'm going to share with you my slides. Maybe it'll take about 30 to 40 minutes, I think. I'll try not to drag too long. But, you know, knowing us lecturers, sometimes when we talk, we tend to... Okay, let me share. Hold on. Do you all see the slides?
Not yet.
Oh, not yet. How come it's not going in? Hold on. Can Fazli share, Fazli?
Yeah, sure. Okay.
It's not here. It's supposed to be here. Okay, then my Fazli will share. It's the same one that we have. Okay. So the Living Lab program is basically another type of research program that we have besides the UMRG, and now the UMRG has been renamed. Yeah, we started in I think 2016 when I took over as the cluster dean of sustainability science at that time, and the Deputy Vice-Chancellor and the university felt that we need to have a dedicated type of research that would actually emphasize on looking at how we want to spearhead the sustainability agenda in Universiti Malaya. Hence, the Living Lab program has been incepted. But before that, just to share with you, there were quite a number of researchers who were already doing sustainability projects, and that was then under UMCAS. So with the official adoption of Living Lab under cluster at that time, it became a university entity rather than just a sustainability project under UMCAS. Okay, and I myself have been conducting the Zero Waste campaign for the last 10 years. Yeah, and started from just an individual initiative, but Alhamdulillah now it has actually progressed to become a university's project. Okay, so I'm currently heading and chairing the secretariat. We are just a secretariat. Yeah? We're not even a unit, but nevertheless, we play a very important role in trying to coordinate and also spearhead the sustainability projects in UM. I'm also the director of Institute of Ocean and Earth Science, IOES, which is one of the high court in Universiti Malaya, which is also something very relevant to sustainability because we look at the sustainability of earth, ocean, land interactions under IOES niche area. Okay, next slide. All right, so I'm going to actually present some of the aspects of the Living Lab project. Firstly, is just to introduce quickly to you some of the global sustainability issues and why what we're doing is so relevant and so important. Okay, and we are also going to look at briefly the 17 UN SDG goals, because the UN SDG goal is actually one of the important criteria where we hinge on our projects to support the 17 SDG goals, and it is also now one of an important criteria for impact ranking that all universities around the world are actually involved with. Okay. And we're also looking at how higher institutions will promote sustainable development. And we're going to zoom in into Sustainability and Living Lab Secretariat and the Living Lab grants and what are the outputs and way forward. Okay. I think some of you have actually listened to the presentation. I think I know Prof. Siti for sure. Yeah, last year he actually attended, Prof. Okay, can we proceed? Okay, in view of the various environmental problems that we face, I think every one of us are very aware that every individual, be it at our own level or at institutional level, we have to take notice of the impacts that's happening, especially the adverse impact that's happening in terms of global problems. And there's a myriad of environmental issues that we have to be concerned of. And I think the latest COVID-19 pandemic has added on to the already vulnerable situation and the dire situation that we are facing now. So what we are trying to actually promote through the Living Lab projects and the sustainability projects is trying to address all these issues. Of course, they are big issues, but I believe that every single person have got a role to play, and we could start with doing it ourselves, and also promoting it at an institutional level, and hopefully, and with our experience, our projects now has actually transcend to community, to the bigger, wider audience. Okay, so together we try to make a difference, because I believe everyone can actually contribute towards maintaining and also sustaining global sustainability issues. Okay, next. So these are just some facts and figures and statistics to show you that the world that we are facing and also the environmental problems that we're facing now is actually really stressed with so many types of pollution, be it water, air, plastic pollution, solid waste pollution, biodiversity loss, climate change, is one of the biggest threat in this 21st century. So all these issues need to be addressed, and we need to actually start from our local level right up to the regional and also global initiatives. So just to give an overview, and I'm sure all of us are very familiar with this. And in terms of sustainable development goals, next. I think we are very aware that everyone is striving towards achieving sustainable development. And when we say sustainable development, we have to bear in mind that we are not just looking at environmental perspective, but we're also looking at social and economic sufficiency and also development. Because without these three criteria, you cannot say that you are gearing towards full sustainability. Okay, so whatever we do in terms of our eco-campus or environmental initiatives must also address social and environmental perspective, because then only you'll have the balance and you'll achieve the truly sustainable development definition that tries to promote development that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generation to meet their needs. That's the official definition of sustainable development. Okay, next. And having said that, I think we are all also very familiar. I hope by now all of you know that we have a global agenda, which is the UN Sustainable Development Goals. There are 17 goals altogether, 169 targets, 230 indicators. So it's quite voluminous. It's very ambitious, but it is a very important pathway for global sustainability to set everyone together to actually come out with the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. And it is actually basically a pathway or an ambitious plan of action to address people, planet, prosperity, peace, and partnership. So that is the reason why you have the 17 targets. And these 17 targets, if you look at them, they are actually compromising of economic, environmental, and social pillars. And the last goal, which is the partnership for goals under section 17 or goal 17, you'll see that it has to gel everything together through partnership. So even though, like I said earlier, individuals play an important role, but you really have to partner up and to work in a concerted manner to ensure that we try to meet as much as possible these 223 indicators and 169 targets. It can be a bit overwhelming, but nevertheless, with the proper guidance and also proper pathway, we should be able to support and contribute not just to our SDG goal, but also to the country and hopefully to the global agenda. Okay, next. So whatever we do in terms of this Living Lab are basically trying to align to all this global agenda. And there's also another link that was introduced by the Vice-Chancellor or Rector of International Islamic University. He says that we should also have the 18th goal, which he actually says that the most pertinent, which is the spirituality or the Sejahtera SDG, because at the end of the day, I believe that when you talk about sustainability, these are based on virtues and values, yeah? And if you don't do it with the right virtues and moral values, I think it becomes very superficial. Yeah, it's only with spirituality that it could actually really sustain and highlight the importance of creating a more holistic and deeper understanding of SDGs. And this one I truly believe, because to me, if you are doing sustainability projects, you must have the passion and you must believe in what you are doing. No matter how small your contribution, it is because you have that notion and that understanding that as a human being, you have your responsibility to actually safeguard the environment. That's where the spirituality comes into the picture. Okay, next. And I think as a university, we know that education plays a very important role. I think we play a pivotal role in society to promote not just education per se, but education for sustainable development. Yeah? Because sustainable development deals with a holistic perspective of life. Yeah, and increased demands on societies and environment due to increase in human population, urbanization, industrialization, means that there's always ongoing development with the repercussions of either depletion of non-renewable resources or the tantamounting of production of pollution and emissions, which we have to actually address. And higher education hopefully will serve as a powerful means to create sustainable future through the concept of education of sustainable development, and us nurturing our young generations to be the responsible future leaders who would actually pathway for development, future development with conscience, with responsibility, and with increased responsibility towards environmental conservation. Yeah. So I think all of us as academics, we play a very important role. And SDG and university works really in symbiosis. If you look at how we can contribute, the SDGs help the universities by increasing demands, provide comprehensive definition, or provide framework for demonstration, research, academic syllabus, yeah, and it could also create collaboration and support and funding. And whereas us from the university, we could actually provide the knowledge, innovation, solutions through our teaching and learning, through our research, more so in UM, because we are a research university and we are the leading university. We should actually play a very important role to demonstrate our support and adoption and implementation of SDG through our governance, operations, culture, research, teaching and learning. It cuts across, I think, right from all aspects, from leadership through operations, students, affairs, and so on. Yeah. Okay, next. So, we can create that competency, and there are 4 areas that I really see that we can really contribute to SDG. Of course, like I said, education and research is our forte. Operation and governance is where the Living Lab plays a very important role. We actually tie together our operations and governance through the implementation of Living Lab, and it is actually a type of action research, yeah. And the living lab projects are used for our teaching and learning experience for the student as experiential learning. It can be used as a test bed. It can be used as students' activities, programs, and so on. So this is what we are doing in terms of our current living lab projects. And on top of that, we also do public engagement. And through our leadership, we are now actually working and collaborating with outside parties, government institutions, private sectors, industries, to pave the way to actually replicate what we do in campus to actually solve the bigger community problem. Okay, next. So this has been proven time and again through our living lab projects over the last almost 5 years. Yeah. So universities and also institutions play a very, very important role because, like I said, not just through our dissemination of knowledge, but because there's so many of us, and each one of us as an institution like Universiti Malaya, that's about 30,000 population if all of us are in, and each and every one of us through our activities, yeah, do actually emit greenhouse gas emissions, pollution, and so on through our operation and teaching and learning activities. So we have to be very mindful and environment. I would think that we in the university should actually be more careful and more serious about promoting and also sustaining environmental conservation. Okay, because we have the know-how and the expertise to curb and to actually reduce our burden to the environment through all our operations, be it our lab, teachings, our transportation, the waste that we generate, and so on. Okay. So even in Malaysia, if we put in all the teaching institutions right from school, there are more than a few millions. Can you imagine if these few millions, I think about 1 or 2 millions of students are actually geared up towards environmental competency? Imagine how much we could actually do to safeguard the environment. Yeah. Next. And on top of that, I always believe that nurturing the young is a very noble and important thing because they are going to be our future leaders. So our eco-campus principles hinges on the important elements of and principles of integrated approach. Yeah, we have multi-scale partnership and cross-sector engagement. So why do I say multi-scale and cross-sector? Because we are not just engaging the researchers or our academicians to do the living lab research or action research, but we are also working very closely with our partners in the universities, like our PTM, Pusat Teknologi Maklumat, our JBPhD, which is the services department, our TNC office of HEPA student, because we work with the colleges, we work with individual lecturers and faculties. And the elements that is embedded into the living lab must be transformational, and we use our leverage resources, and there's political will and leadership. So each and every one of the living lab researchers or PI will actually pave the way if you are going to actually address, like for example, sustainable biodiversity or water management or waste or energy. You are going to be the champion or the leader and show your leadership and working together with the other stakeholders in the campus. And once it's implemented successfully in campus, it will actually be replicated and can actually solve not just campus community issues, but also the wider community outside. So this is what is happening in our Living Lab project. So there's a lot of environmental benefits. I will show you along the way that we have actually improved our environmental performance, operation performance. We have reduced cost to university. We have actually improved social engagement, and of course, improve our environmental burden. So this is truly sustainable development because the three tenets are actually addressed. Okay, next. And I think it's very important, especially for the first timers who are applying for the grant, for you to know that we have our referral document, which was actually published in 2016. We had published our Eco Campus Blueprint, It's a very important document that actually ties together all the aspiration and the pathway of how UM want to address our sustainability agenda. So we have 8 core areas. So this is important. So if you are going to apply your grant, make sure you know your project fits into either one of these 8, or it can also fit into the 17 SDGs. Yeah, because now we are not just limiting to our eco-campus blueprint. Yes, we have an eco-campus blueprint, which is focusing on 8 trust areas, and they are transportation, landscape and biodiversity, waste, energy, change management, education, green procurement, and water. So if any of you are doing any project that you think can fit into this, well and good. But if you think that it's not here, it's in the 17 SDGs, please don't worry. Just make sure that you can actually tie your project to one of the core areas that we're looking at, because our projects will actually fit into the data, not just for Myra, which is for RU. Remember, we are very dependent on Myra results, and also our data is very important, because if you don't do well in Myra, we don't get the RU grant. Without the RU grant, you're not going to get your IRRG, you're not going to get your Living Lab grants. So, so this is very important. So we align what we do to actually make sure that we subscribe and also support all the universities ranking development and also commitment. We also participate in UI Green Metrics. So UI Green Metrics, we will explain a bit to you. There's 6 areas which are actually in line with our 8 core areas. Yeah, and we also subscribe to Low Carbon City Framework under Ministry of Science. It used to be under KETA before. And it is basically initiatives to showcase how we reduce our carbon footprint. So basically, whatever we do in Living Lab, all contribute towards carbon reduction. Because whatever you do that minimizes environmental impact will definitely also reduce your carbon footprint. So we are the only 2 universities, UM and UTM, which has been awarded the Diamond Award for being a low carbon campus. Yeah, so all the Living Lab projects and other projects in UM contribute to the low carbon initiative or framework that has been bestowed upon us. And I think the latest one is the Time Higher Education University Impact Ranking, where universities have to subscribe to the 17 SDG goals. And what we do and your data, besides others, will be fed into all these ranking criteria. And it's going to be very impactful, because it's going to actually showcase Universiti Malaya as being not just a top university in Malaysia in terms of academic ranking, but we are also very, very responsible in terms of our environmental and sustainability agenda. Okay, so our secretariat comes directly under TNC PNI and TNCP currently, and it comes also under the VC's forte. So as I mentioned to you, we work in a strategic alliance, and we work very strongly and got support from TNCP. So that is the reason why P is development. For those of you who are not familiar, Deputy Vice-Chancellor Development Office and Deputy Vice-Chancellor Research and Innovation Office. Yeah, and now we work also very closely with Deputy Vice-Chancellor Student Affairs, HEPA, and also Deputy Vice-Chancellor's Academic Office, because we partner with all our strategic leaders to ensure that we carry out a holistic approach towards sustainability in UM. Okay, next. So those are our team members. We are very small, yeah. So like I said, we are just a secretariat, but we are overseeing the whole Universiti Malaya sustainability agenda. I mean, of course, together with other units like UMCAS and all that. So we have been receiving a lot of achievements and accolades over the years. Yeah, we have received international award. We are appointed one of the 5 sustainable campus in Malaysia. Yeah, basically all the 5 RU universities are in eco-campus university, and we are also UM SDSN Sustainable Development Solutions Network very important chapter and member. We have been appointed and awarded the diamond rating for low carbon city and so on. So these are among our accolades, and I think we play a very important role in trying to push forward the sustainability agenda. Next. And if you look at our ranking in the UI Green Metric university ranking, for those of you who are not familiar, UI Green Metric is the only university worldwide ranking that ranks universities around the world towards its sustainability agenda and sustainability achievement. Yeah? So we are number 34 in the world. Yeah, and if you look at our points, we are the best in terms of water management in Malaysia. We are the first and best in waste management in Malaysia, and we are the first in education and research and sustainability in Malaysia. Okay, so this show that whatever we have done over the years in aligning what we do and how we do it towards international ranking has paid off, and it is actually proven through the results of our ranking criteria. So all our Living Lab projects really support and really have an impact towards especially this UI Green Metrics ranking. Yeah, next. So this is just to showcase to you. These are the 6 areas of UI Green Metrics. Don't worry, don't get overwhelmed. They are actually very similar to our Eco-Campus Blueprint Trust 8 Trust areas. They cover biodiversity, energy, water, waste, transportation, education, and research. So they have 6, we have 8. So we can easily fulfill these 6 criteria, but we need more inputs from more researchers. Yeah. Okay. So the other one that I need to highlight to you is for this year, we are targeting more contributions on also energy and smart building. Okay. So if any of you have got any proposals that can actually support this and spearhead this, we really welcome, because this is the aspiration of not just the Vice-Chancellor, but also I think in line with the IR 4.0 initiative and also agenda. We also want to spearhead Universiti Malaya to not just be sustainable campus, but also smart campus. All right, next. Okay, so this is the next ranking that I was talking about, which is the Time Higher Education Impact Ranking. We have got 17 rankings. All universities around the world now are subscribing and are getting into this ranking criteria, because it shows real impacts, in terms of your work or in terms of your research and also your teaching and learning. So these are some of the criteria. Don't worry about them. As long as you can actually align your proposal or your project that you plan to submit to any one of these criteria, that will be good. Then we will actually look at the different indicators and how we can work strategically, smartly to actually support and fulfill the data that is required under that particular goal. Okay, next. And the Living Lab, now we come into the Living Lab actual explanation of the grant. It is actually an action-oriented translational research. It is, I think, enhanced version of your UMRG and IIRG, where you do your normal research, but the uniqueness of Living Lab is we want to take your work, your normal laboratory or simulation or calculation or whatever investigation that you do in your research, to take it into the next level of applying and also implementing it to real life solution. And in our case, we are doing it at campus level. And once it's successful, like for example, we have a few projects, our Water Warriors, our Rimba project, and also the Zero Waste project. They have been very successful. They are now actually also working outside the campus with communities, with NGOs, with private sectors, with the larger community. So this is what we want to see. You test your lab results or research into real life solution at operational level in UM, and hopefully it's making a real impact to the operations in terms of improving not just your environmental burdens through your project, but also reducing costs, improving the social aspects of sustainability. Yeah, so the main key criteria of Living Lab is, taking from laboratory research to real life solutions. And we have these 8 trust areas together with the 6 UI grid metrics and the 17 goals to align our work with. Yeah. And of course, the Living Lab projects have got multitudes advantages. Yeah, it reduces environmental impacts. It gives our academics, it provides them examples, experiential learning, enhanced learning, teaching experience. Students come as volunteers and they do their final year project or their master's project and their PhD project. I've got PhD students graduated from my zero waste campaign, and numerous masters and so many undergraduate students. Yeah. And of course, it is supposed to also create culture change in universities because we want to change the mindset, not just mindset, but culture and behavioral perspective of our campus community to be more conscious, more mindful of their actions and to support the environmental and also sustainability agenda. And at the end of the day, the university's operations in terms of cost, in terms of environmental performance, yeah, and social perspectives benefits, yeah, from your project. Okay, next. And these are our 8 core areas, just to showcase to you some of the examples of projects over the years that has actually supported the 8 trust areas. Yeah? So we have core area 1, landscape and biodiversity. We have the RIMBA project, which is among the senior projects. We have the Living Green Wall project, virtual reality application, essence of green roof, eco slope engineering, carbon materials, biochar, carbon storage. Maybe so. These are some of the projects that our researchers have over the years been doing. Some are continued to second year or third year, and like some of the senior projects, they are already into the 4th cycle and so on. And some finish after 1 year, they did not continue, or they went on to another project. So it depends on the progress of your work and also the output and the outcome of your project to be supported, because whatever proposals that you submit will be looked at and assessed by the panels, and the panels will actually address the relevancy and also the successful outputs that you provide, and those that needs continuation with good outputs delivered will actually be continued. Yeah? So core area 2 is on waste, core area 3 is on water, 4 is on energy, 5 is on transportation, 6 on green procurement, education and change management. And I mentioned that this year we are also promoting and supporting and pushing for not just smart campus but also well-being. So, any projects that can fit not just into these 8 trust areas, but next slide. Also, if you can, next slide, Fazli. Yeah, so this is the one that I'm mentioning just now. So we want to highlight this because this is specifically the directive from VC himself. He wants us to also look at smart city. I think this is in line with IR 4.0, smart campus. So we are going to also promote smart campus research and applications in So I think a lot of our LL researchers were already doing it before, so it can be enhanced now. Okay, so I think you know what's the definition of smart city or smart campus. It is basically where traditional networks and services are made more efficient with the use of digital and telecommunication technologies for the benefits of its inhabitants and businesses. So this ties in very well with our eco campus and smart campus initiative. Next. So this is just to showcase again why this smart campus or smart cities perspective or aspect is important and is promoted, because it's also very relevant to SDG 11, which is related to sustainable cities and communities, which emphasizes on smart city governance, smart living, smart mobility, and smart environment. Yeah, so SDG 11 is a very important criteria under sustainable cities and communities. And as a campus, we are basically a small township, small city. So we also want to promote this in line with also the challenges and also the applications of IR 4.0. Okay, next. So we've had over the years, just to highlight to you, a lot of projects that has already embedded and applied, smart city or smart campus applications like virtual reality. We had smart energy utilization. We had building energy management. We have use of IoTs in a lot of the research for smart and smart electrical management, and we had real-time automated traffic data inventory, carbon storage, mapping and IoT monitoring, and so on. So if you look at the list, we've had over the years good applications using IoTs and also smart campus initiative. So you can either, hinge on this to extend the work scope and depth, or you can actually propose any new proposals that is befitting our target areas. Yeah. Okay. Next. The next one that we also want to also promote this year is health and well-being, because health and well-being is also an important SDG under SDG 3, which is ensure healthy living and promote well-being at all ages. So how does our how could our work connect human health to buildings and promote healthy lifestyles or mental health care. So if you have any projects that relates to this, by all means you can also apply, because this is also one of our areas that we want to promote besides our 8 Eco Campus trust areas. Yeah. Next. So this is health and well-being for SDG 3. So this is more on the explanation on what are the kind of aspects of projects that you can do. Okay. Next. And this is just to showcase to you some of the Living Lab sites. I don't know whether you are familiar or not, but over the years, we've had many projects. As I mentioned to you, Living Lab is actually a real implementation project. So you see them in campus, like for example, the Zero Waste project. For those of you who are still not familiar, please know by now that we have a lot of sites that actually carry out actual operational sustainability projects. The Zero Waste campaign project actually converts our food and green waste into compost. Yeah, and we now sell and market our own unique organic compost, which is very popular, and we have reduced our environmental burden and our waste from going to landfill site, and curb environmental pollution by that initiative. We've also got the Water Warrior projects and the Rimba projects, and we have a house, a specific house at number 2, in section 16. I hope you know the Rumah number 2. We have an Airbnb bus, an old bus that has been turned into Airbnb and homestay. So these are an offshoot of the Rimba and Water Warriors project that have ventured now into not just a Living Lab project in campus, but also a social enterprise and generating income. Okay. Like for example, maybe I can share with you my Living Lab Zero Waste campaign project. We have actually sold more than 40,000 worth of compost, which is basically coming from your food waste in campus and the green waste, and we convert and treat them to convert them into organic compost. And now we have a dedicated tabung or fund under bursary. We have collected more than 40,000 through selling of your, if not food waste, but now it's turned into compost, and we have saved the university more than a few hundred thousands in terms of tipping fee and also collection fee by diverting the waste and converting it into something valuable as a resource. And this is actually a typical example of circular economy that we want to promote. Yeah. Okay, next. So these are some of the pictures of our facilities and our projects and our initiatives. Yeah. As you can see there, I forgot to mention that we also have an eco surau at Akademi Pengajian Islam. As you know, we are the only university, I think, that promotes this eco surau concept, and it's very successful. And now we are working and expanding the work. Our researcher is now working with Jakim to promote eco mosque using the concept of living lab in the eco surau. Now it's transcending, working with the government agencies and trying to actually promote, and will transform some of the mosques in Kuala Lumpur to make it into a truly eco mosque facility. Okay, so this is the success story of our Living Lab projects. Okay, next. And just to showcase the 3 tenets of sustainability that we're talking about. So in terms of our environmental performance, as you can see, this is the amount of, like for example, from our from zero waste campaign, we have collected recyclables, more than 200 over 1,000 kilograms. If not, all these will end up in landfill sites. And I think we know from my first slide just now, our landfill sites are actually choking, and we are in dire state of affairs in terms of pollution that is actually contributed by our waste generated that is escalating over the years. So by doing separation at source, recycling, enhanced recycling in campus, and conversion of waste to wealth or waste to resource, we have not just reduced environmental burden, but we also improve performance and provide income to the university. So in terms of carbon emissions, the zero waste campaign has, since its inception, reduced more than 5 million kilogram of CO2 equivalent that has been diverted away from more than 1 million kilogram of waste. And not only that, from the Water Warriors projects and initiatives, we have saved more than almost 80,000 cubic meter of water savings through the installation of the Mr. Timble, which is a water reduction gadget. A simple initiative but very profound. And we also have got the rainwater harvesting and IoT water monitoring projects. We also have the unused medicines project done by our colleague in PPUM. We have collected more than 3,000 over kilogram of unused medicine. Can you imagine? If not, otherwise, this will all go to our landfill site, and it's not just polluting the environment, but it has got also a lot of repercussions in terms of medical perspective. Okay, and then we also have environmental performance through urban garden, and the zero waste campaign now has also transformed and extended our work to actually complete the cycle from waste to food. So from our food waste and green waste, we convert and treat them to become compost, organic compost. And the organic compost now is used for our urban garden to plant vegetables. I hope you are familiar that we do sell organic vegetables at our Zero Waste campaign now, where we actually use our own compost to actually plant and go into hopefully smart farming soon, with collaboration with other researchers that's, I think, promoting smart farming through the IRRG program. So these are some of the examples that you can do, and you can actually transform your work to not just be doing it at your level, but once you are successful, you could actually promote it and also extend the work to make it into a big project that has got profound impact to the environment and also sustainable development initiative. Next. Okay, so in terms of social performance, we have done training, we have worked with communities. Like for example, if you look at the first picture, that's me with our MP, YB Fahmi, a member of parliament. We work with a lot of communities to actually promote sustainable and integrated waste management and composting and generating income for the community. We have the Eco Surau project, we have training, we have river cleanup, we have site visits, And the zero waste campaign site in Damansara, near the Damansara gate, has actually garnered more than 12,000 visitors over the years. You know, we have non-stop students, communities, and even now after MCO, I'm inundated with requests from so many people outside who wants to come and visit, and learn from us. And Rimba has got a lot of projects with communities, with their guided walks, trainings, nature challenge, and so on. Okay, next. Next. Yeah, so this is a snapshot of the economic performance. So if you look at the project, it has not just garnered environmental savings and economic and also social, but also it has actually generated income for Universiti Malaya. So for UMZWC alone, we have actually collected 40,000 in the tabung from selling our compost, and we have actually diverted waste that has actually saved Universiti Malaya, I think more than 300 over thousand, if I'm not mistaken. And we also sell our vegetables, organic vegetables, I think now a few hundred ringgits, yeah. And the water warriors, they have actually extended their work to not just water projects, but they have collected unused bottles, plastics, and they have actually now collaborated with engineering faculty, yeah, where they actually transform plastic waste to become souvenirs. Yeah, as you can see, keychains and all that. So all these are actually an offshoot of the original Living Lab that was targeting the specific areas of the traditional water waste and so on. Yeah, okay, and so forth. And then also like Rimba project, they have collected more than 35,000 from the Rimba guided walk, crowdfunding, water savings, and so on. And the Academy Pengajian Islam Eco Surau has also got a recycling shop. For those of you who are not familiar, if you want to get your pre-loved clothes, please go to Academy Pengajian Islam. They have a Lestari shop, and from the sale of those donated clothing, they have actually sold more than 1,000 ringgit worth of pre-loved items. Otherwise, these materials would go to waste and would just clog our landfill site. Next. So the Living Lab projects, we also map them to our SDGs. Yeah, the SDGs are actually in line with the 17 SDGs. As you can see, we are very good in terms of contribution to SDG 11, 13, 17. And also we address all the others. Those that have not registered yet is because we are only monitoring the Living Lab projects. But I can assure you all the other SDGs are also promoted through other research and initiatives in Universiti Malaya by the other researchers. Yeah. Okay, next. So monitoring is very important. Yeah, data collection and so on. So implementing circular economy through Zero Waste campaign, as I mentioned to you, from our food waste, yeah, from your cafeterias. So that is the reason why we want the cultural change. Yeah? And I hope that, all of you coming from different faculties, you know very well, each of you have got your own cafeteria. If they still do not do separation at source, please, ensure that your cafeterias carry out food separation at source, because with the separation at source, then only this can be converted to this compost. Otherwise, if waste are just commingled and dumped together, it's just an environmental burden and potential pollution. Yeah. So that's the reason why I've been promoting separation at source, and I think it starts from your cafeterias. All of you have cafeterias in your faculty. Please make sure that your cafeteria operators and your deputy dean development, yeah, enhance this aspect, yeah, because unfortunately, sadly, I would tell you that a lot of our cafeterias still do not do separation of food waste at source. Because if you don't separate this, we can turn your food waste into our compost, and this is the compost that we sell. Only RM5 per kg, very good for plantings and also for vegetation. And we do organic farm now, and we sell. These are amongst the product of our UMZWC organic vegetables that we sell. Yeah. So this is clear circular economy practice in campus. Okay, next. So this is again some of the other value add projects that we have actually expanded over the years. When I first started, it was just simple recycling, and then we venture into composting. Now we have got, anaerobic digestion, plastic recycling, urban farming, renewable energy, and in the pipeline we have many more value added projects that we are planning to do. Next. And just to showcase why it's so important and pertinent to actually promote the zero waste campaign at higher education institutions. This is just a scenario analysis. I'm just showing if all the universities, IPTA in Malaysia carry out something similar to UM, this would be the total amount of reduction in terms of carbon, and also the amount of monetary value that we can actually gain from this kind of similar activities as what UM is doing. And this is based on number of population, like UITM, they have big population all around Malaysia and so on. So I'm just putting a scenario in analysis to emphasize on the importance and the relevance of such projects. Okay, next. So again, this is a summary of all the Living Lab achievements over the years. We started in 2015, but Alhamdulillah, over the years, as you can see, we have got publications, we have got human capital development. As I told you, we had many postgraduates, PhDs, masters, and also undergraduates graduating from these projects. We've had numerous networkings with international, local, government agencies and so on. We have got publications, seminars, and we've got also awards, recognition, media appearances, and to top it up, we calculated the amount of monetary gain through our Living Lab project. So it has benefited Universiti Malaya more than RM1 million from direct and indirect savings. And we have actually saved more than 15 million kilogram of CO2 equivalent over the years through just doing the Living Lab projects. Okay, next. And we have also our publications. So if you are interested to look at our Living Lab publication books, we have that. We have volume 1, 2, 3. We have our training modules and so on. Okay, and our volume 3 and 4 is coming up soon. So in terms of the greenhouse gas emission that has been successfully diverted through our Living Lab projects, this is equivalent to planting more than 258,000 trees. So can you imagine? So I think if we want to actually really do it physically, it's impossible. But through the projects, the equivalent of the greenhouse gas saving or CO2 savings have actually benefited the environment as if we are planting more than 300,000 trees. Next. And this is the amount of savings, monetary gain to direct and indirect savings. Next. So for those of you who will be applying, you will be guided and you will be coached to actually put in your outputs into this template of our greenhouse gas emission reduction. So every single project contribute to this, and at the end of the day, collectively, we monitor, because this is not just useful for the Living Lab performance, but also for our ranking data, in terms of the Times Higher Education and UI Green Metrics. So we have this template ready. So what you do, you just need to put and ensure that you put in your data so that we can calculate the carbon reduction over the years through your projects. Next. So in terms of media appearances, yeah, Alhamdulillah, I think UM has been highlighted many times, be it in electronic or print media, even in radios, yeah, televisions, and we've been highlighted many times through all our Living Lab projects. So this is actually also value add, and in terms of monetary contribution, which we have not calculated, this is I think worth a few 100,000, because you know media appearance is a lot of money and visibility projects. Next, yeah. So for those of you, I think if you are planning to apply, this is the expected output for Living Lab. It's very unique because you have to have tangible or what, because it is an actual research. Remember, it's an actual research. It is problem solving, and it does contribute directly to UM operational performance. So your project targets should actually try to support either water reduction, waste reduction, biodiversity, yeah, if possible, as much as possible. So these are some of the examples that we do, for example, the zero waste project on waste, the water warriors project on water conservation, the biodiversity project, yeah. So you need to identify quantifiable, measurable targets, all right? So if you can't really fit into the water, waste or biodiversity, then it could be the other trust areas. Okay, next. Next slide, please. Yeah, so you have to be reminded that your outputs must be measurable, yeah, and you have to put in targets, right? For example, under the category 2 of your output, which is on capacity building and innovative technology or transfer, you need to identify capacity building either in UM or with schools or with outside community, yeah, and how you want to organize them. It doesn't matter as long as it is quantifiable and measurable. Okay, next. We have engagement, networking, linkages. Next slide. And we do actually promote you to actually please carry out publication and policy papers if possible, even though unlike IIRG where you must have ISI journal, but for Living Lab, because of the nature of the work, yeah, it's a transformative and translational research. We do encourage as much as possible publications, but more importantly is, like I said, the tangible outputs. Yeah, but of course these are all bonus points, and especially if you want to ensure that your project will be supported and continued for the next coming phases, try to fulfill as much as possible the criteria of the outputs that has been defined. Yeah. And what is very important is to ensure that you also contribute to the greenhouse reduction. Sorry, can you go to the next slide before this part, yeah? Which is all projects are compulsory to contribute to greenhouse gas emission reduction. So this is based on the template that I showed earlier. So don't worry about it. We will, our staff will train and guide you on how to use it. It's not very difficult. It's just a template. What you need to put in are just the figures to ensure that we can calculate and monitor your carbon impact of your projects. Okay? Because collectively that will give the carbon footprint of Universiti Malaya. All right, next. And I think as usual, you know your votes. most of us have already applied grants. So for both 11, you are allowed to hire one research assistant. But as you know, if you want to really cut costs, as you know, we are all very restricted with monetary and also budget restrictions and also constraints. If you feel that you want to use more for other aspects, you need not hire full 12 months, because as it is an operation and implementation project, probably the first 2 months you could do away without having an RA. I mean, I'm just giving ideas, but if you feel that you need the 12 months, then because if you're hiring at 1.8 or 2,000, at least 24,000 is already used up, and you can't afford that, because at the moment we have this very tight budget. So I always encourage projects, if you really don't need the full RA, or you can share with your other projects, then you can cut costs on your vote 11,000. And vote 21, for traveling, we don't really encourage or allow a big amount here. We only allow a maximum of 200. The reason being, as it is a Living Lab campus project, there's not much traveling that needs to be done. It's not like you have to go for site visits and so on, because your sites are in campus. We allow up to 200, just in case you want to travel to meet people or to actually get to government agencies and all that. Rentals only for building space, equipment, transportations, and others related to projects, but otherwise not much there. Research materials, I think you know what they are. Modification if necessary, otherwise you don't need that. Special services you can, for enumerator, sampling, testing, analysis, and so on. And equipment also, because of the very stringent and restricted budget, I think we try to, as much as possible, use whatever facilities that we have, unless really necessary lah, because otherwise that will take up the chunk of your amount of budget. Next. So we also, like the other units like UMCAS and so on, we also want to ensure that our projects is highlighted, and we intend to actually do a conference. In fact, before the COVID-19, we were actually already planning positively to do an international or national conference where all our Living Lab projects are presented. But because of COVID issues and the restrictions, now we might do an online version. But next year, hopefully, we will do a good grand conference where we want to highlight and showcase our good projects. Yeah, and this is actually the important allocation we will actually need from the contribution of each project, because otherwise it's difficult to actually carry out this kind of conference. Yeah. Next. And in conclusion, I think I've gone through quite detail about the relevance and the definition of the Living Lab projects or grants. And I hope that with your contribution and with your proposal that you're going to submit, we will be together in trying to push this sustainability agenda in Universiti Malaya, because at the end of the day, everyone have an important role to play, and I think collectively we can make a bigger impact to not just our campus performance in terms of sustainability, but also promoting to the community at large. And we hopefully, nurture the champions amongst our researchers and our students to be the environmental stewards that is much needed to help solve the sustainable and also environmental problems that we face, not just in our country but in the world today. So thank you so much for your time and your attention, and the fact that you stayed on and you're keen to actually join the Living Lab group of researchers is very notable. And I really hope that all of you could actually join our group of interested and responsible Living Lab researchers who are actually promoting sustainability in campus. So I open now for any question and answers. If you have any questions, you may either type then, or you can just, I think, unmute yourself and just simply ask the questions. I can actually answer straight away.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
Thank you, Doctor, for giving the presentation. I'm Dr. Munir from Faculty of Computer Science and Information Technology.
Yes, Dr. Munir.
I'm kind of new faculty member, so I was wondering that if I keep the minimum budget and maintain the quality of the work, so there are likely chances of acceptance of the project at your side?
Definitely. Definitely, you know, I mean, if anyone can actually be very efficient in terms of their, because like, for example, you know, your projects related to ICT, yeah,
Yes.
you can actually carry out very effectively with minimal budget, right? Unlike those that really needs operational and also on-site work, yeah. So I would suggest that, you know, come up with an optimum budget, which is of course must be doable, yeah. But you know, if your project comes out and your proposal comes out with very good proposal and output intention, but with very low budget, of course, definitely you're gonna garner more support from the panels. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Yes.
And I really welcome more people and researchers from your faculty, you know, because we need FSKTM or computer science researchers to actually spearhead the smart campus initiative that is being initiated and highlighted by the Vice-Chancellor himself. Yeah, Dr. Munir?
Yeah, we will inshallah propose very good ideas, and we will try to keep the minimum budget. So just have one more question. Can I submit more than one project ideas if I have?
Oh, okay. Only one submission per researcher. But you can always be in another group. You can get your colleague, but you be in the you be as a group member. But as a PI, you can only submit one.
Okay, right.
Okay, but you can be as many members in as many groups. So you can do IoT, you know, real big data, or you know, anything else with the other groups. But at least one as a PI.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
I look forward for your proposal, Dr. Munir.
Yeah, inshallah. Thank you.
Okay, and please promote to your other researchers, because I think the faculty science, computer science people should actually really spearhead the smart campus, because we want to be in the forefront, you know. Not many universities have started smart campus. Yeah?
Yeah, we are now thinking in this direction that we could.
Yes, please do, because you know, sustainable campus, a lot of everybody has joined the bandwagon. We want UM to be not just sustainable, but smart and sustainable campus. Be in the forefront, okay?
Okay, thank you, Doctor.
All right, thank you so much.
All right, Prof, we have one question from Dr. Kok Sing Ding.
Yes.
How do we get JPPHB representative to join our project?
Oh, okay, Dr. Kok, thank you for joining us. JPPHB is already our partner. In fact, our panels, we have permanent panels from JPPHB, yeah, who are sitting to ensure the projects that is being finalized and approved will truly make an impact operationally, not just in terms of research perspective or academic perspective, but also in terms of its impact to the operations and governance of UM. So don't worry about getting JPPHB member to be your group member. We will actually get the partnership for you. Yeah, because we know the different units under JPPHB. So for example, if you're doing an energy project, then we know who is the person in charge, and we will actually connect you to them. Okay, you don't have to go scouting around.
I see, but Prof. Sumiani, thank you for the explanation. But in the application form, So there's one column that require us to put in the contact number or the details of the JPPHP representative.
That one no problem. If you're not sure, you can just ask Irene or Fazli in our office. They can give you the contact person, because we just want you to be aware that you have to work with JPHB. It's not we don't want researchers to take it as if like you are doing your own project without real value for operational and implementation on the ground. So that's the reason why we want you to know the JPPHB people. So if you don't know them personally, we will connect you.
Okay, thank you.
Get their numbers. If it's not a person's name, at least we give you the unit name, because under JPHB they have the responsible unit for water, for waste, for energy and all that, and we have all the contact.
I see. Thank you.
Right?
Thank you, Prof.
Okay. Yep. Thank you for attending.
Thank you.
Do you have any other questions from anybody else?
Prof. Sumiani, I'm Chiu from Physics Department.
Hi, Dr. Chu.
I would like to ask, what should we fill in the stakeholders sections in the form? Is it means industry collaborator from industry?
Which section is that? Sorry,
stakeholder.
Oh, stakeholders. Okay, stakeholders can be. It depends if you have planned. Like, I mean, JPHB is definitely a stakeholder already. You know, because we will have to work with JPHB. And then if you are working with a community or school, or if you intend to, I mean, it's up to you. You design the project, right? In your proposal, you design the project, and I'm sure you have in mind whom you want to work with and how you want to implement it. Or if you already have got an existing stakeholder or collaborator, just put their name, so that you have that in mind, that you're not just doing like most of our traditional research. We can just do away with just sitting in the lab on our own and coming up with data analysis and then publish papers. That's it, right? Those are the traditional way of doing research. Whereas our living lab, you can't do that. You have to ensure that your project must actually be applicable. It's a problem solving. Like, for example, if you're doing an energy project, so you'll be working with maybe faculty of, I don't know which faculty are you from, Dr. Chu?
Faculty of Science.
Science, okay. Then you'll see faculty science is your stakeholder.
I see.
Yeah, the PhD definitely, because if you want to implement, like for example, smart energy monitoring, for example, you need to get JPPHB support.
So that means it's not necessary from industry, right?
If you have, much better.
I see.
Right? As long as you are conscious and you know that you need to actually work with other people, not just research where you just do your simulation or you do your modeling and that's it. Because we want your research, your living lab project, something that is applicable. And if it is good, it will be taken up by, supported by PTM and JPPHB. It can be implemented at campus level, and you can actually help solve our operations impact, reduce our operations impact. That's the intention.
Okay, understand.
Right? Okay. If you are, by any chance, any of you are not clear of anything, just call our office. Yeah, our staff are very helpful. Yeah, Fazli, Dr. Azizi, and Irene can assist and guide you. Yeah, our extension is 4635. Okay. And someone did ask whether they can have the slides. Yes, you can refer to most of our presentations are in Sustainability. You know, on our website, we have a website specifically on sustainability. So all this will be, inshallah, uploaded there, so you can actually refer to them there. Okay. Any other questions? Let me look at the chat.
Assalamualaikum, Prof.
Waalaikumsalam.
Yeah, Zuraida here from Secretariat.
Yes, hi.
I'm a bit curious about the success rate of getting this grant. May I know roughly?
That's a good question. I can't really answer that honestly, Prof. Zuraida. But having said that, coming from medical faculty, you have a lot of potential, because we're also looking at well-being now, health and well-being. We don't really have many proposals coming from there before. I think, if you have a good proposal, because as I told you, our emphasis this year, besides the traditional 8 trust areas, it has been clear intention, and I would say maybe suggestion and directive from the top management themselves, to promote smart campus and health and well-being. So coming from Faculty of Medicine, you've got a good chance, because so far we've not had any projects from that aspect. We've only had one from Dr. Mary, Prof. Sim before. They're doing the unused medicine collection, but that's related to waste rather than health and well-being per se. So if you're doing anything to do with
more of mental health, actually.
Yeah, mental health, elderly. We had cancer farm before. But like I said, we don't really have much proposals coming from there. But like I said, we have got budget constraints. I think every one of us is facing this. So please don't expect big amount, but at least something to get us by to do our project that has got some impact to campus community. And I'm sure you've already got some work done, Prof.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, so you can just incorporate some aspects of it and put it under Living Lab.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you for the information.
Yeah. Please send in your proposal. Yeah, we look forward. From, like I said, this year our emphasis has been targeting not just the 8 trust areas, but also well-being, health and well-being, and also smart campus. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Most welcome. Any other questions? There's no more questions, I think.
No more questions. Yeah.
The chat. Yeah. Okay, if there's no more questions, then I think we are coming to the end of the session. And thank you so much to everyone for attending. And I look forward. Please do some links, to also join. Like I said, if most of you, I'm very sure most of us, unless you're a new academician, have already got an ongoing project. Yeah. Why don't you actually, extend a little bit, put in the Living Lab perspective into your proposal, and as an offshoot or value add to your existing project, you can actually work quite minimally to carry out this Living Lab project. All right. And if you have any questions at all, please do call our office, the Sustainability and Living Lab. We used to be called Eco Campus, but now VC wants us to change our name to Sustainability and Living Lab to have a bigger boundary and also perspective. So at any time, just call our staff at 4635, extension 4635, if you have any queries or any questions. They will be happy to assist you. Okay, Fazli, I think that's it. Thank you so much, everyone, and have a good day, have a good coming weekend, and we look forward for your good proposals, so that together we can make bigger impact to make not just sustainable and eco campus, but also a smart campus and a healthy and really sustainable in the true sense of the word.
Or just a final reminder, the deadline of proposal submission would be 7 August 2020. That would be 3 weeks from now.
Okay, so you have ample time. Okay, and if you have any questions or any queries, please call our office, or you can even drop by to our office anytime.
Yep.
Okay. Thank
Alright.
you. All the
Thank
best.
you, everyone.
Bye. Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam.